Hope you're well and doing great as we get ready to kick off 2026. Bitcoin here trading at 91,140. Currently, by the way, entering on buy side boost on buy and sell side. We have right now carrying the full account BTC 101 currently long Bitcoin here. We have tomorrow earnings season's upon us. JP Morgan going to give us a little bit insight into what's going on with the consumer. We have also this week CPI ahead of us. Out tomorrow, we have CPI readings, and I expect a lot more of the same. Or throughout this year, I expect 2026 to show signs of deflationary forces continuing to, let's say, be paramount. Obviously, we continue to look at the price of oil. The price of oil at the pumps is starting to get really low. And then you look, of course, as shelter continues to be one of the largest components in the CPI. I expect outside of any type of surprise devaluation event, debasement event, that those forces continue to provide cover here on inflation. Nevertheless, let's take a look at what's going on here today. Overnight, we saw our markets here under pressure as the Department of Justice said that they're going to be looking into what was going on with Jay Powell and the Federal Reserve and the renovations. Markets so far here have been able to claw their way back, currently trading green, unchanged on the market, unchanged on the day. And we're going to focus in on, first of all, the V4 release and our positioning. So aside from right here, long side on Bitcoin, everything else in Bitcoin and crypto is completely on the sidelines and in cash. We look at our stocks, 100% in cash. Unbelievable. Amazing. It's very rare that we are 100% sidelined. And here we continue to just wait 2026, wait for the right time to strike. A lot of people are, I know a lot of analysts. Oh, by the way, did you see silver? Yeah, everyone has to be watching silver. Someone was saying it's time for us to reevaluate what's going on, sharpen our views here on silver. Currently trading at $85 an ounce. I saw ATMEX I saw a screenshot. I'll take the screenshot's word for it, that with the spread, they were triple digit silver. Is that real? Are they charging 15%? I don't know if that's real or not. Great morning. So originally here on the breakout of 50, I was like, I'll see you at 90. We're not stopping there. We'll reevaluate. A lot of people just right before the new year were getting a little bit concerned that the top was upon us. And we saw things like margin requirements raised across all metals on the COMEX, CME requirements. We're seeing the same thing happen now in China. I don't think that this is any type of leveraged speculative play. And right now we continue to see silver just doing silver things. Now, are we looking for a top? We have this green dotted line over here. And what we did was we connected the outer end of the resistance that was flipped into support. A break above there would signal that we are entering potentially into a correction consolidation. We're well above it. Are we close enough to 90 to reevaluate? We've had this conversation within the Discord around the new year. And, I asked the question, and the question that I maintain is, well, listen, this is a lot different for someone trading in and out of silver on the future markets. And as anyone who has tried, they understand how highly levered that is. And I don't really think that's the play. I ask all of you 5 years from now, do you think silver is higher or lower? And I'm under the impression that we are witnessing monetary reset, gold, Bitcoin, select tech. Silver definitely plays a role along with gold. Not the same role, right? When I say not the same role, we know that gold is bought and held by central banks. Silver is not. Silver will never be. We know that silver plays an industrial use that gold does not. And as we continue these data center build outs, as we continue to build these um, solar arrays in space, silver is a key component in all of that. The amount of silver mined each year is less than is currently used. And yeah, I think that gold and silver were just a couple of assets that were suppressed for a long, long, long time. We know that we have banks now. Um, Banks have now flipped from net sellers, short positions on silver, to long. And I just don't think that that's something that you want to be on the wrong side of. Um, we know that when we've seen things go, let's say, parabolic, that they could often end badly, but this looks much more in Maine. Let me just jump back. Someone was making a note of the head and shoulders pattern and how well, I'm sorry, the head and shoulders, the cup and handle on gold that we brought to everyone's attention on the breakout in 2023. And again, this was something similar. I was like, it's not stopping at 2,500. We'll reevaluate at 5,000. If I have to reevaluate now, I would say, well, you know, I think what we're seeing is a fundamental shift in the use of gold. I think that it is for sure taking place of what is a safe, a neutral asset on central bank balance sheets. And it's more, let's say, there's a lot more of an interest in holding this than U.S. Treasuries. And I don't think that this stops here. Whether or not the velocity to the upside continues or not throughout 2025, I couldn't believe the consolidations that took place. One, and then breaking out to the upside with ferocity, and then again over here, we just stayed on the right side. I mean, I thought this could correct out into February, breaking out in here in December, and I think it's real time monetary reset happening, and I don't see any uh, anyone who holds either physical gold or silver, I imagine that the play is to keep holding. And of course, there will be corrections, maybe sharp corrections along the way. I mean, we saw some violent reactions in this area. This was the end of the year, low liquidity, and you were seeing 10% moves, one, two, and then 7% moves 4 days in a row. And a lot of people said it was over. And here we go. I'm just reminded of we're moving on 11 months of gold on the monthly time frame being now overbought above 80 on the RSI. Silver right here is just beginning its ascent, working on its second month. Um, yeah, that's my view. I imagine that there could be wild swings along the way. I imagine that the volatility is likely going to be and continue to be to the upside. But yeah, that's my opinion. It must be very, very, very difficult right now to be able to be a dealer who is buying silver being sold. I imagine with this type of volatility, I don't really think that this is the time to sell. If you had physical and you wanted to hedge that, that's what the future market's for. But yeah, what as much like Bitcoin, right? The higher the price goes, there'll be willing sellers. But yeah. 2026, we're looking for. I saw, did anyone see Howard Lupnick out on the All In podcast, Commerce Secretary? He was talking about what it would take to get to a 6% GDP. It'd be interesting to hear that conversation. I mean, it's the Treasury, yeah, oh my gosh, Jordan, what's going on? CTM, a little bit of love. Com Commerce Secretary of the United States, and I would love to see it. I mean, copper. Where's copper trading at right now? Let me just get a quick price code over here. It's $6. That's unbelievable for me. Felt like $4 copper was expensive. Now we're looking at $6 copper. Yeah, we'll have to put some work into that. Let the winners run. Silver here. Yeah, so revisiting over here as we're close to 90. We're not yet at 90, but we're close. And in reevaluating, look, I don't think anything's changed. Monetary reset is happening. The world order is changing. And I think that Bitcoin is going to wind up doing some Bitcoin things. Let's take a look over here. Bitcoin trading at 91,286. We have over here right now the greatest correction since the bull market began in January 2023. We've seen some structural damage occur. This is the fake out after the spot ETF launch, the shakeout. This is the Japanese yen unwind, and we've broken down below it. We still haven't taken out the April low. That remains in play, which means that we are seeing what looks like a rounding top currently forming. It looks like we're seeing a loss of momentum. But during this particular phase here, we've gone from let's say bull market going on 3 years. It looks to me to be a, let's say, late cycle consolidation, waiting for a resumption up. We have a lot of, we're looking at the macro for the first time. We have monetary policy beginning to align with the move of risk over the last 3 years. Risk has been able to do that with tight monetary policy. We're now seeing rates, Fed funds continue to move down. We're seeing the balance sheet beginning to rise, and we are seeing monetary policy line up with fiscal dominance, and then we're seeing also a regulatory guys, you either love me or you don't. I can't say. Framework beginning. We have a trifecta lining up here into 2026. Big beautiful bill is stimulative in this year into 2027. We continue to see the AI boom build out continue. We're not seeing that stag. We're not seeing that slow growth. We continue to see in this K-shaped economy a lot of growth taking place. And then we're seeing also at the same time, we're seeing no inflation, right? We're seeing disinflationary forces continue here to carry a greater prominence. It looks like we're going to move from muddle into running hot in 2026. Doesn't mean that it won't be without hiccups or anything like that. We've seen a lot of hiccups in 2025. We saw obviously the March, April global retrade organization scare. And then we saw obviously liquidity coming out here in 2020, late 2025. This has just been, let's say, addressed by the Fed. They had to stop QT, begin turning around that balance sheet. It's my view we're going to see monetary base total begin to rise, and with that, risk stabilize and begin to rise. And is it anyone's, when does that happen? Does it happen here in the first quarter? Is it gonna, are we looking at, a couple of more quarters of kind of choppiness and muddling along? I'm not sure. That's why we have our templates, to make sure that we stay on the right side. But looking at the macro, there's nothing that suggests bear market 2026. I see things like headlines coming across my feed from cross-border capital, Michael Howley, talking about liquidity is coming out. I see liquidity going the other way. And this is the view that I maintain into 2026. Again, moving out past here as this great build out continues. Eventually we're going to hit a wall. And by the time we hit a wall, I think we will be seeing inflation kicking up. And there's going to be a time where I'm going to get really concerned about what the future looks like. I'm not there yet or anything like that. So I trade the 8 hour, yes. On stocks, I'm on the daily. Some people continue to trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana on the daily time frame. And as it turns out, that 2025 that had better performance. And is that because of the dynamic we were seeing where, it was just a very tight range, and I'm not sure that could be it. In the long run, 8 hours going to outperform. And I think that 4.0 just changes the game altogether, in so much now is not that tension of, we have so many good options. Which one do we choose? Which one is going to perform? I think V4 is something that all eyes are going to be on because we're just releasing right now. By the way, V4 is available to most of CTM, to all of CTM Core, CTM, anyone with a TradingView username through M. It is currently active, and by the end of the day, for everyone, we will be active. If you go into the dashboard for both Core and CTM, you'll find the V4 release. We have a couple of different views you could look at, including the 4-panel view, the buy-side boost view. Don't forget, go ahead and accept the terms of the software, and to remove the verbiage over here. And boom, 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 boom. Let's change that. So here we are. And what else did I wanted to say? I don't know. We're talking about the daily. You have the buy side boost view. You have the four panel view, and then each one individually. Right now, you have Solana, Cardano, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. During this week, once I finish the rollout, I spent all weekend on doing my best to get it out to everyone today. Again, I said, if life doesn't happen, the target date was today. Otherwise, it would have been next Monday. I'm happy to have this out here as we're live right now, almost to everyone. However, by the end of the day, we should have everyone here ready to go. Let's just take a look at Bitcoin over here. This since 2019. And even during this adverse year over here, 2025, Bitcoin over here, able to show up. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal, right? As you all know, if you look from the bull market breakout, able to outperform, buy and hold, pretty substantial feat by any measure, and that includes when Bitcoin was up and to the right, at its highest price point. So CTM V4, this is V3 and V4 rolled out into one. and the last 2 years of progress, adding money management, building on top of CTM 2.0, which was building on top of CTM 2X. And this is going to provide the tools that we need here, CTM, to be able to move forward and put ourselves into a situation where a lot of people have come to realize, holding Bitcoin, specifically if you're looking at over the last 4 years, 5 years now, that it's, we're not seeing the same CAGR that we've seen before. And look, I don't know, and you don't know when Bitcoin is going to do Bitcoin things. And, there was the worry a long time ago, and I think I dismissed it. And, is what happens if, Bitcoin moves into a period of suppression. And, uh, is that what's happening right now? No, I don't think that's what's happening right now. When I look at Bitcoin, I see that we've seen over the last 18 months a massive distribution take place of OG holders distributing their coin. And then you've seen a whole new cohort of entity of players absorbing that. I think it's extremely healthy what we would continue to see here in Bitcoin. But we want to be able to go ahead and say, regardless of buy and hold, what Bitcoin does over the next year, 3 years, or 5 years, we have a certain ROI yearly that we want to achieve, and giving ourselves the ability to do that is absolutely, absolutely the place that we want to be. SD Bullion, what is... I don't know. Already, I guess from 1 week to the west with, like a flag in the wind swaying, was it, are we seeing construction delays from data centers? Elon here is continuing to build up and to build out really quick. People are going to either have to keep up or they're going to have to give up. Jumping back over here, and there was the question about for V4, and we're looking over here, that bar magnifier, which is a premium plan feature, does need to be used in order to be able to utilize the functions, specifically here, the trailing stops on the money management. And, Brian adding, listen, like, you have to look at this as one of your businesses. And if you want to be able to take advantage of V4, of the templates, then it's a question of making sure that you have the tools needed, investing in premium. As you're all aware, TradingView offers mega sales. All right, the Thanksgiving sale at 70 to 80% off, but they do that sporadically throughout the year. You end up paying as much as you pay for the essentially on a monthly basis if you take advantage of the sale. So that's something that you're gonna need to utilize if you want to be able to take advantage of V4 as we continue going along here. What else? So V4, there are people that will continue to use buy side boost. For example, the architect, Phoenix Fire. The whole reason that he set into place and developed men's creativity, the ability to use buy side boost, was because he didn't like having a bunch of his capital that was ineffective not being used. And this is the way that trying to make efficient use of the capital, that buy side boost came into existence. He's gone ahead. Phoenix Fire has back tested buy side boost on V4 already. And if you go into the buy side boost channel, you could go ahead and you could check out his findings on that. No, there will be plenty of people who continue to use buy side alone. You have over here some pre-filled out templates right? This is for buy side only on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. If you wanted to do that with Cardano alone, you want to go ahead and you would go boom, bam, boom. Go ahead and just change the short equity to 0 over here. All right. I don't even know what's going on with trading views except that, okay, cancel, finally. All right. Boom, 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 boom. CTM, except for Bitcoin right now, 100% into cash across equities. Bitcoin is the only thing in the market here. We're rolling out V4. 2026 is shaping up here to break the trend that we saw in 2025. Markets here digesting a lot with the tariffs, the reshape of trade. 2026, first quarter here, second quarter, continue just to do our best to navigate it. I think by the end of the year, we start seeing everyone realizing that risk here has room to run. We continue to maintain where we are as far as we've seen the first buy impulse since this correction began underway, right? We have to clear above this area, that important structure that is right now into the market around 99,000, upward sloping. And if we break below, right now this is coming in 86,500, upward sloping. Breaking below that, that would set up another leg down. If this indeed is a loss of momentum rolling top that we continue to witness, the thing is that the ultimate, even if we have another leg down, if we were to make another leg down after that, there's a good chance that in this zone here would be the ultimate. I'm not trying to call a floor or anything like that. We have to take information that's giving to us, but bull market strongly intact, and we'll see. We'll continue here to stay in front of it as this story continues to develop. Metals here, platinum roaring, copper above $6, and here we go on our Monday. I'm going to get back here to finishing here the rollout here. Again, with all of CTM Core has access open. Big shout out here to the wizard and 2 years of development. V3, V4 rolling out over here. Everyone on CTM through M currently has access, and we'll go ahead and make sure we continue getting that out to everyone. This week, we could go ahead and do a review. Yes, it's true. Ethereum V2 outperformed V4, and we'll find out what type of an anomaly that was and make sure everyone has all the information they need to be able to execute the plan that they have in place. CTM, have a beautiful day, everyone. God bless you. I'm back to work. I'll see you all on the inside.